August 1930 in Germany was a turbulent month, a crucial prelude to the September elections, marked by escalating political infighting and deteriorating economic and social conditions. Internationally, Douglas MacArthur was appointed Chief of Staff of the US Army, while unemployment in Britain surpassed 2 million. This was the rise of Hitler. In Germany, the country commemorated the anniversary of the Weimar Constitution, while the commander of the National Guard resigned, paving the way for Hitler's replacement, a clear indication of the Nazis' growing influence within the paramilitary establishment. During this month, Hitler focused his campaign on the elections, traveling to major cities and delivering massive speeches to tens of thousands of people, reiterating his message of the betrayal of 1918 and the need to save the nation. He used emotionally charged rhetoric to mobilize the masses, and his propaganda inflated attendance figures to create the impression of rising popularity. But behind these rallies, the streets of Weimar were becoming battlegrounds. The violence reached its peak in the Battle of Hercules Hall in Nuremberg, where a large communist meeting turned violent with a large Nazi presence. Both sides accused each other of starting the fight, but the result was a bloody brawl involving chairs and wooden cups, which then spilled into the streets. Around 70 people were injured, some seriously, and police and firefighters intervened to bring the situation under control. Despite this, clashes continued outside the hall, a clear indication that political violence had become a daily occurrence in German life. The tension was not confined to Nuremberg. Similar clashes between communists and Nazis were recorded in cities such as Berlin, Hamburg, and Munich, in addition to attempted bombings, most notably the letter bomb targeting the Social Democratic Party headquarters in Hanau. There was also an internal confrontation within the Nazi party itself when the Black Front faction, led by Otto Strasser, attacked a Nazi office in Berlin. As a result, German states began implementing stricter measures. The state of Bavaria banned all Nazi and communist rallies and marches, while Nazi newspapers in Prussia were shut down for 4 days on charges of incitement. Nazi uniforms, including brown shirts, which had become a symbol of their growing presence on the streets, were also banned. On the political front, the traditional parties appeared to be in disarray and adrift. Chancellor Brünen's Catholic centrist Zentrum party attempted to justify its harsh austerity policies, arguing they were necessary to overcome the crisis, but it lost popularity. The German Democratic Party, DDP, fragmented into several new factions due to ideological differences, while moderate right-wing parties tried to form new alliances without any tangible impact. Most of these parties clung to unappealing platforms at a time when radical solutions to the economic crisis and rampant unemployment were needed. The Nazi Party, meanwhile, cleverly exploited this weakness. It maintained its extreme program, which it had presented since 1920, based on extreme nationalism and outright hostility towards Jews and democracy. He relied on rhetoric that blamed others for the country's collapse: Jews, communists, and democratic parties. He exploited the economic crisis and widespread misery to position himself as the only party capable of saving Germany. His media power grew through alliances with influential figures like media mogul Alfred Hogenberg, amplifying the impact of his propaganda. With over 2.7 million unemployed, widespread violence, and eroding trust in democratic institutions, many Germans found themselves facing a stark choice: right-wing extremism or left-wing extremism, while centrist parties had lost all credibility. Thus, Germany entered the September 1930 elections amidst chaos, division, and political violence. The Weimar Republic was clearly on the verge of collapse. The Social Democratic Party of Germany, SPD, along with the Center Party, Centrum, had been one of the pillars of democracy in the Weimar Republic. It was the largest party in Germany and had participated in numerous governments since the Republic's founding in 1918, when Philipp Scheidmann, in cooperation with the Center Party and the Liberal Democrats, DDP, proclaimed the Republic, thus helping the fledgling state survive. Despite its strength, the SPD was excluded from the new government by President Hindenburg because the Social Democrats retained Marxist roots, which Hindenburg and the conservative camp deemed unacceptable. The government accused the SPD of being responsible for the March political crisis, but the party denied these accusations. The party leader declared that the SPD rejected all forms of dictatorship, whether by the president, the Nazis, or the communists, and affirmed its unwavering commitment to defending democracy. This put the party at odds with the policies of the Brüning Hindenburg government. Despite the SPD's significant role in political life, public sentiment at this stage was volatile and unpredictable. As the crucial elections approached, Germans were asking, who would win? Who would lose? Would this end the street violence? Would Brüning secure a governing majority? Would parliament be reshuffled? What would Hindenburg do?